Hey, how's it going, you guys? This is petplatypus here, and it's time to review a couple more episodes of Hunter x Hunter. Episodes 142 and 143. This is a cool episode. The first section of the episode was really cool, but kind of sucky, because we get Hisoka versus Gato, or Goto, whatever you want to call this guy. I call him Gato because it sounds more like an actual name, but I could be saying it wrong. And he's doing the coins, and they look beastly, but Hisoka's doing fucking gum shit, and he does this cool thing where he like catches them, but then they're spinning, so his arms get all fucked up. And you know, he's doing some good shit. I'm like, yo, coin butler Goto, or whatever the fuck, good shit. But then Hisoka pulls some fucking sneaky shit with some strategy, because you know Hisoka's the king at that shit, and he like pulls himself back. He sends a bunch of coins. He deflects all the coins with more coins. It's badass. But then he gets the throat slit, and I'm like, oh no. Because, like, he was so badass and beastly. I don't know if he's dead. I would assume. Because, you know, his throat was slit. But then again, it's a shonen. But then again, it's Hunter x Hunter. So, I don't know. He might be dead. He might not. I'm going to go with dead for now. Just because that's what it looks like. But we'll see. We get scenes with Killua running away. He goes into Godspeed again. There's a really cool scene where he goes into Godspeed. And he zooms away. And you see him, like, dart down the freeway. It just looked like a really cool shot. And we have old lady following him. She can turn into a motorcycle because... Oh, and apparently she's the grandmother of the other butler. I don't think maybe we knew that. And the other butler and Canary get on. And they're going... And they're like faster than the speed of lightning, which is fucking insane. And it takes both of them to fuel the grandma to fucking go that fast. But that was really cool. He does end up bailing because he dives into the forest. Killua does with Aluka. So they can't follow him with the motorcycle, but they figure out his next move. And what ends up happening is he's going to take a blimp. He has them send up a bunch of blimps as distractions, and while they are filling out the paperwork for the blimps and everything, he just bails. So, you know, he was smart with that one. And then we get this scene where the one chick, I'm forgetting the name now, but the butler... She's the one with like the more fierce look on her face, and she's talking to Canary, and Canary's like, oh, you know, I didn't distract. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, because she's a nice character that's going to help out Killua because they're friends, and that's really cool. But yeah, and then that one chick, she's all tough and everything, but now she's acting like, not cutesy, but just all like embarrassed and shit, and just like, it was kind of funny. Then we have Illumi, who's like licking his needles and shit, and he gets a bunch of zombie needle dudes going. He has Ahsoka go do something else. Then we get this Hunter stuff where there's this new organization all of a sudden, and they're like called the Anti-Chairman Association, but they don't choose to be called that. One badass dude, I think they were all candidates for the position of chairman, but one of them looks beastly. He has like a hat and everything and like spiked hair in the back. He looks pretty badass. He doesn't like the fourth commandment of hunters, which is hunters can't hunt hunters. I agree with him because hunters can do fucked up shit and you should be able to send a hunter after a hunter. That concept just sounds cool, like hunting a hunter. But, yeah, and then there's the dude who just kind of looks like an old guy, but he's a fucking hunter, so he's probably beastly. And then there's the dude who sounds exactly like the narrator, so there's that. Hopefully the narrator doesn't start talking while that dude's on screen, because it might get confusing. But anyways, they have a group called Saren. Correct me if well, I don't know if anybody's watched, I haven't even watched Kuriko's basketball, but I feel like their high school name is Saren, but I'm not sure on that. But that was kind of funny. What else happened in this episode? I'm just trying to make sure I covered everything. Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. Killua wants to hunt Illumi, but that's not going to happen right now. Right now they're sending out a bunch of hunters that all look like fodder to subdue his needle, you know, puppets. So there's that. As far as progression goes, I mean, the fight between Hisoka and what's-his-name ended. We got Killua progressing, you know, pretty far and getting in the blimp, and, you know, him and Aluka are chilling. He's completely separated from the butlers at this point. Hisoka's doing his thing for Illumi, and yeah, so I mean, it had a fair amount of progression. Animation was good overall. The fight was good, so I'm gonna go around 8.5 for this episode of Hunter x Hunter. No like philosophical fucking character development or anything, but you know, it was good. And yeah, we'll just see where things go. But yeah, I'll go 8.5, and now I will talk about episode 143. Okay, so episode 143. This is a pretty cool episode. We get a little bit more election stuff. A few of the people who have lost. Biscuit lost and a couple of other dudes lost. This is a little funny scene. The first chick named Cutie, I think. That's an odd... That's a weird, like... That's like Jinx's Mega Evolution from Pokemon right there. And considering how shitty some of the Mega Evolutions have been looking for the Gen 3 remakes, I would not be surprised. But anyways. Those people got eliminated. Leorio's still up there. I'm loving that. Okay, so I had a little quick interruption. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Leorio's still on the top, which I'm loving it. That's really awesome. We get that Saren group. Pointless. Like, what? Like, completely pointless. Hisoka pretty much wastelands all of them. Illumi wastelands the others. The fucking dude who I thought was kind of cool looking with the hat and everything, he's dead off screen. That was a huge disappointment. But yeah, I mean, they were kind of pointless, honestly. And, you know, you get a little bit of dialogue with the one dude trying to get votes going and everything. You know, the dude in the suit, the old guy. But Hisoka ends up killing him, so it's like, were they even relevant at all to this story? I mean, seriously, Hisoka's mostly controlling regular dudes, regular civilians. He's not controlling any of those dead hunters, so... He controlled one of them one time, so I mean, I don't know. Just felt kind of pointless to me, but... What basically ends up happening is they're in the airship and they're being followed by Granny and her fucking granddaughter because she can turn into a fucking plane glider thing on some like Green Goblin shit. And it just looks hilarious but epic at the same time. And they're following Killua above the clouds, but then they get on ground, they're in a car, and then, oh shit, Illumi's controlling the driver, which I kind of guessed immediately just because of how well the timing was. And Illumi's basically says, what basically ends up happening is his mom, Mrs. Zoldyck, I guess, she's been spying this entire time through what's-her-name's little spyglass thing that she's wearing, and that's just like, wow. So yeah, he's pretty much caught, Illumi's right there, but what he ends up doing is using the wish to heal the one chick's hand, the old woman's hand, because the requests, they end up getting fulfilled because she's there now, and Iluka is like immediately... Like, she's on it, like, quick, dude. Like, she's like, alright, fingernail, 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 fingernail. Does all that, wish is done, Killua, pat me on the head. It's just like, boom, there you go. And he says something about how the other personality's name is Something, and how Something never wishes for anything, never has any cruel requests after healing someone. Which is cool, because if Something heals Gon, then there won't be any cruel requests afterwards. That's good. However, we don't know if that's going to be the one at the time and the place and everything, so we'll have to see where that goes. But, yeah. So no real confrontation with Illumi. Hisoka's in the background thinking about, like, oh, do I want to get Killua pissed off? Do I want to get Illumi pissed off? Do I want to do this, this, and that? Ends up doing nothing besides going to kill that one old guy. Once again, kind of a pointless little inner monologue in his head, but I guess it just shows that he's willing to just betray Illumi. Like, they're kind of friends, but not really. Anything else in this episode? And as far as the election stuff goes, that one dude's dead, and I think they're going to do a runoff. So it's going to be the top 4 now. I think it's going to be only the top 4 you can now vote for, I think. Pariston still has dominant votes. The reason why I don't want Pariston to win isn't because I don't like the character, which I don't, and we see him in this episode also, and you can see the scum in his face. But, when he's like, no one's around him, he looks real scumbag. But the reason why I don't want Pariston to win is because it seems very predictable. He has all the votes, and it's just gonna be like, boom, boom, boom. It's like, oh, he won. It's like, well, yeah, he won. He got all the votes from, like, the entire election. There were no ups and downs and twists. I mean, when Leorio's name got thrown in there, I was like, oh, cool, that's a twist. That's nice. That, you know, that throws in something. But if Pariston ends up winning, that's kind of disappointing because you could just see it coming, like, from, you know, immediately. Oh, there was also another funny scene where I think Jing got eliminated from, like, the thing, and you just see the panda bear sitting there. That was funny. But yeah, overall, I thought this was an okay episode of Hunter x Hunter. I'll go 7 out of 10. It was enjoyable. It had, you know, solid progression. Animation was nothing special. That Saren group is really pointless, honestly, but whatever. I mean, it's an okay episode. It's a 7 out of 10. And I'm really curious to see where things go from here. So, yeah. Thanks for watching this video. Tell me what you guys thought of these episodes in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.